Well, hello there, guys. It's Shawn, Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. I was trying something different. I was trying to implement something, and it wasn't working. But hey, it happens. It's 2021. We're trying different things, and we're going to make sure that we will drop value. I tried to implement a little intro video. It didn't want to work. So what I do, again, I did 103 Facebook Lives last year. I want to continue to do that this year. So the points of doing them is to provide value, give you information to utilize to allow you to take your business to the next level. And it's not up to, I can't hold your hand and allow you to do it. But this is something that I want to make sure if you're here and you're watching, you're going to make sure that you are going to gain some value from us and actually utilize it. Don't just sit back and enjoy it. I want you to engage. Hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay on the replay. Also, where are you watching from? Drop that in the comments so that we can know where our reach is. And if you're in the business world, if you're in real estate, if you're in insurance, mortgages, what have you, let's all use this time to network. Drop your contact information, a website. Let's all connect, use this time wisely on a Saturday. I'm going to bring on my guest. He has been in business for a while. He's a real estate agent. Let me just take this off. And I want to bring on Brian Walsh. What's going on, my man?
Hey, Shawn. Thanks for having me on today. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy NewAr. Can't believe we're in 2021 already.
I mean, for a lot of people, it's like, thank freaking God, right?
For a lot of people, yes.
Did you see the Rockin' Eve with Ryan Serhant and all the craziness that was going on that night? I don't get it. I guess that sums up 2020, right?
Yeah, Ryan Serhant. I think he put on the quarantine 19 pounds. I noticed.
Yes.
And I saw Anderson Cooper taking some shots of vodka or whatnot. I think he only did half the shot and almost threw up, but that was pretty funny.
I saw that. My wife was showing me this morning. Well, we watched the wrong show, I guess, but it is what it is. It's another year, and I'm hoping that we're not going to have what we had for 2020, and we all grow from it, we learn from it, and we move on. And again, I appreciate you taking some time out of your Saturday to drop some value for us. Can you give the ones that are watching, my community, who are you? And go into as detail as you want. You want to go long-winded? You want to go short? It's up to you.
So my name is Brian Walsh. I work with RE/MAX, the real estate leaders. We have offices in Middletown and Homedale. I'm associated with the Middletown office. I service Monmouth, Middlesex, and Ocean counties. I've been in real estate just over 3 years. Before that, I was in public education for 16 years. I was 9 years as a school administrator. I was a vice principal, a school principal, and even a little higher up as a director of human resources for a pretty large school district. We had 4,000 students, about 600 staff members. But I really, people wondered why I left that, but I just was not happy. I really hated going to work every day. I mean, I really enjoyed being a school principal and all that, but as I moved up the ranks and, continued to provide for my family, I just felt it was not an enjoyable thing. I did not enjoy going to work every day. So, I kind of looked around, analyzed the landscape. My brother happened to be a successful realtor for quite some time. So I did reach out to him and was just kind of picking his brain about entering real estate. It's funny because he basically discouraged me from coming into the business, saying that, it was up and down, hard work. The life of an entrepreneur is not necessarily as sexy as it looks, if you will. But I knew that I had what it took, and I really just wanted to go out there and do it. But I'll tell you, that transition was challenging. It was easy to transfer the skills, working with people. I think I'm a people person, so that's very helpful. But that first year, it was really tough financially, to say the least. But I knew in my mind that I would be successful if I just stuck with it. There's kind of the saying, Gary Vaynerchuk has said it, other people say it, something like, if you can learn to eat shit for 2 years, you could eat caviar the rest of your life. Or just basically, if you're willing to sacrifice and give up what so many others are not willing to give up, you can have all of your dreams fulfilled if you just stick with your plan. So I kind of took that to heart, and I knew that I would be successful. However, it took me longer than I thought. I kind of thought, we were talking about in the pre-show, I think there's this impression out there that realtors are going to get their license, they're going to post something online, and people are going to come flocking to them. List my house. Oh, I need to buy a house. I want to invest with you, whatever it is. And that's just not the case. Even as someone who came from, kind of a connected family in the real estate industry, I found it very challenging. And I still find it challenging. Of course, it's gotten easier as you build your pipeline, and we'll get into that as we talk. But that's basically a gist of who I am, where I came from. And I did earn my broker's license when I became a realtor. I was told you had to have 3 years experience to get your broker's license. So I made it a goal from day one. As soon as I can get that, I'm going to get it. I don't have plans per se to open a brokerage or do anything like that, but I just wanted to have it. Kind of like when I was in education, I had a master's degree pretty early on. I went on to get my post-master's degree, my doctorate, although I never earned the doctorate. I got an education specialist degree. I do hold 3 college degrees, but that's just kind of who I am. I'm always been one who wants to, go out there, get the credentials, learn all I can, and be an expert in my field.
No, well said, man. I really take to heart as far as that education piece. I'm a full-time teacher as well. I've been teaching for 19 years. Phys ed teacher. People say, why don't you give it up? I'm like, I wear shorts, t-shirts, and sneakers every freaking day. So I enjoy, and I have a team. So Tom, how I'm able to do my business is having a team to allow me to have that freedom. To people say, give up. And I'm like, I like doing it still. You said some other great things as far as entrepreneurship, real estate being a difficult thing to get into. It's very easy to get into, but hard to be successful because it takes work. And you said that as well. People think you're just going to do a post and you're going to get all this business. That is 100% not true. You have to make sure you are working your centers of influence. You got to make sure you are marketing. You have to be on social media. We're going to talk about lead generation and networking. These are all things that if you're not doing, you have to start doing. Brandon Blankenship said Brian's the best. Definitely appreciate you guys watching. If you have questions for us throughout, we can get to them later. Drop them in the comments. Reminder, #live if you're on the live right now, #replay on the replay, and just sit back and enjoy. Now, we're going to talk about a variety of things. A couple things that we always kind of share during our live is networking online, lead generation, and non-negotiables. I like talking about non-negotiables first to find out, some people treat real estate as a business. Some people treat it as a job. There's certain things that people have to do. Is there any non-negotiables that you have, Brian, that make your day successful in your eyes?
Probably not as many as I should, but yes, I definitely have some non-negotiables. But I would say they're kind of simplistic in nature. And basically, my non-negotiables would be posting daily on social media, posting as much as possible. I have various ways I get content delivered to my inbox on a regular basis. And then I filter through it every single morning. I mean, every single day, 7 days a week, I'm going through this library of content, if you will. And some days there's, multiple articles or multiple pieces of content to share. And then other days there's nothing to share. So, but I make it a point, and you'll probably notice that I post minimally 1 or 2 times a day on my personal page, and sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a day. Now I'm talking about Facebook. On Twitter, I also post pretty regularly throughout the day, maybe 5 times a day on Twitter. I know a lot of realtors don't see the value in Twitter, but I just feel like it's another resource. It's a hodgepodge of opinions and news articles, and there's just so much content on Twitter that you can then repurpose on Facebook and on Instagram and on LinkedIn. So to me, TweetDeck, for example, if you're not familiar with TweetDeck, it's like Twitter on steroids. You can have like 100 Twitter feeds running at the same time and find and share content, and it's free from Twitter. So I've been using TweetDeck for 2 or 3 years. Just a simple little tool. Instagram, I could be better on that, but right now my non-negotiable there is posting 3 to 5 times a week on Instagram. Earlier in 2020, I was posting, maybe 1 time a week on Instagram, if that. So I'm trying to step that up. And again, all of that goes to positioning yourself as an expert. It goes to making top of mind awareness for your sphere, lead generation. That's just a form of marketing and lead generation. I also, another non-negotiable, kind of minor, but a lot of people don't do it, is to learn something new every single day. And I read practically every day. Now, if I don't read, like I haven't read today, I did not read today, but tonight or tomorrow, I'll read a little extra. Instead of maybe 10, 20 pages, I'll read 30, 40, 50 pages. So I read, probably since I left the public education world, I've read about 125 books, maybe more, all in, marketing, sales, motivation, personal development, but also in other psychological areas. There's a book called Sapiens, for example. I found it to be amazing. I just read the Elon Musk book. I found that to be amazing.
That's right.
So those aren't necessarily, sales books, especially Sapiens, but I found it to be an incredible read and just helps you develop, insight to the human psyche. And so I think just learning daily. And, again, I'm coming from a background. I have 3 college degrees. I've read 125 books since leaving education and entering real estate, but I still feel new, and I still feel like there's so much to learn. And again, that goes back to realtors who don't take the time to learn. And there's a lot of serious questions that come up, a lot of serious decisions, and whether it's negotiations, just helping people get through turbulent situations, and I think having that knowledge base really helps you get people through those situations.
No, I love it.
Those are 2 of my non-negotiables. I probably have more, but those are 2 that I would. Oh, and the most important, drinking copious amounts of coffee.
What kind of coffee? Are you a Dunkin' guy or Starbucks? Or are you like a local?
I'm a Keurig guy. I like making my own coffee in my Keurig. I go to Costco and I buy the big box, and I drink 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day. Not so much, but that's a good amount. And but honestly, I like the Keurig. I don't add any sweeteners anymore. That's something I cut out around 1.5 years ago.
That's funny because my wife, we're all about the Keurig as well. She just bought like all the chocolate, there's a mint, all these different pumps you can have and create your own concoctions instead of going to the big box, stores. So that's hilarious. I enjoy coffee as well. I always have that first thing in the morning. And I liked how you said learning is earning. You have to continue to learn. And yes, I don't know everything, but I like to continue to learn. And this is where, if you take the information that you learn, put it on video, guys. Those that are watching, those that are catching this later, nobody likes to read anymore. Brian reads, I read. But if you take the information that you read and do a Cliff Notes version of it, do a short 2.5 minute video about what you gained from that book. People are going to eat that up. That's not even talking about real estate. It's not talking about insurance. That's just giving value. And it's important to consistently drop video, drop posts, being on, like, I love it. You're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You have to be across platforms so you could hit on every segment as far as the population, the younger to the older. That's where we need to hit, not just focus on the older. The younger ones are young entrepreneurs as well. They need education. They love video. They don't want to read. They want to use video to learn and educate. And that's how important that is, for sure. So I appreciate you sharing those non-negotiables. Reminder, if you're watching live, #live, drop a comment where you're watching us from. And if you're involved in business, let's use this time. If you're with us, let's use it to network as well. Speaking about networking, we used to do a lot of networking face-to-face, belly to belly, shaking hands, everything else. I haven't been to one in almost a year, and it's something I used to do monthly. Every single month, have a live face-to-face, take people online, offline for a couple hours, and we meet. And we're not able to do that right now for the main reason as far as COVID. How have you been networking online with your business, and how important it is for you? And then if you want to share a tip or 2 of what you think is important as far as the proper networking strategies.
Well, obviously networking in COVID has been challenging. And I know you were often having, or monthly, those social gatherings, the kind of open bar and, meals and stuff. And that was always a lot of fun and exciting. But, I actually joined Toastmasters, which is a group kind of promotes public speaking and leadership. So I joined that prior to the pandemic, but that's something we've been able to continue through the pandemic. So not quite networking, but it's something I joined to network in a professional sense. And I've found that that's been an opportunity for me to be out there every day, or not every day, twice a month, speaking to those people. And honestly, I've met, not a lot, but I've met one or two people through that who put me in touch with a cousin who's a realtor, and they're all homeowners. So obviously, I'm there to really benefit from the public speaking aspect and learn to refine the leadership skills. But I know people have been doing online, learning events, online client events. I have not done that. Basically, I'll just go back to sharing content, sharing things to people directly that might appeal to them. So I don't do a ton of online networking, honestly. It's something maybe you could share some insights on, some tips that I should be doing.
This is what we're doing right now. This is what people don't realize. That's why I love StreamYard better than Zoom. It's like a TV show. It's something that we're able to engage. We're able to meet each other. You don't have to be face to face. And honestly, this is a great way to network. Think about it. You used to have coffee appointments, or you would go to someone's office, and then what happens? Sometimes something came up. So you're on the way over. Oh, I can't meet you today. In this case, if you have an appointment at a certain time, 10:30, and the person doesn't show up, you can call somebody else. And it doesn't have to be live like this. It could be something. I do this consistently throughout the day. People don't see it, but once in a while when I do them on Saturdays. But this is what I do traditionally every single day. And it's so much better than, yes, everyone has a phone. Everyone talks on the phone, and that's great. But use the messenger and use the video on it so you could see each other, or do a StreamYard or a Zoom. That gives you more opportunities, and you can have more of them throughout your day than if you were to go to an event. A lot of people go to events to get really shit-faced and have some food, and that's it. They're not, and they sit in the corner. They don't do anything. They don't get mingle, and that's the whole point of networking, is getting out and working the room, and not just taking business cards. A lot of people just take business cards and that's it. Actually follow up. I have a database. I send out emails to my network, and I want to make sure that I stay top of mind. But what we're doing right now, and those that are joining on the live and those that will join later, that's all part of networking. And when you're doing your posts, a lot of things that I do also, after a phone call, I will have you met, Brian Walsh, in a post, and people say, why would you do that? Because I want to give the gratitude that I had spent some time with so-and-so, and I want to actually help them. So that's how then I tell my network, if you see someone on blast, you have to reach out and network with them. So I'm actually making it more of a competition to do it online, because it's there. You see all these posts, engage them as well. And I always recommend, if you're posting a few times a week, try to do it a few times a day. If you can get it up to, I always have the rules of 4. 1 thing about real estate, 3 things about your community, maybe how you could help them, maybe do a conversation starter, maybe talk about, some value, what an appraisal is, not just all real estate, which a lot of people do, which is something that people get turned off for. But networking going forward is going to continue going this way. And I have up to 10 people I can do on my StreamYard. And then I also I can't wait to get back to that face-to-face time that we'll have maybe later on this year. I'm hoping that all things start, opening up again. So that's my goals. I love how you said you were working with Toastmasters. What made you sign up with them?
I think it was just the thought of the future of where my career might take me. And again, going back to, I was a school administrator for several years. So I did do a lot of public speaking, but I never felt it was one of my strengths. So, I don't know where the future will take me, but I could see myself doing some public speaking, doing some real estate training down the road. Not yet. I want to continue, being an agent, but I just thought that those things would help refine my delivery, get me out of my comfort zone a little bit. And it's been a lot of fun. It really has. In fact, I'm the Vice President of Public Relations for the Homedale Toastmasters Club now. So,
that's awesome. Congratulations. That's fantastic. It allows you to have that confidence. So only way to get that confidence, you have to have the competence. So you're reading a lot, you're practicing, you're speaking. These are all things that will help you. So when you go into, for example, a listing appointment, and you're refined and you are bringing the content, you're bringing the information, you have all the objections that they're throwing at you, but you're speaking eloquently, that is so much better than just showing up, yo, what's up, and then getting into your conversation. So it's so cool that you're doing that. And a lot of people, yeah, you said it wasn't a strength of yours, but you're working on it and you're getting outside your comfort zone. I always share that. You learn the most when you're doing things you're uncomfortable. That's a key thing today. And I'm hoping that more people start doing that, because, that's where you're going to see a lot of growth in everything from your business, etc.
Another thing we're doing for networking, I guess you could say, is, we're building up and I say we, I have an assistant. So, he and I have been working together now. I brought him on around September, just to help me in the back end, less balls falling through the cracks and things like that. So, but one thing we're really trying to do is network and broaden our relationships with service providers. So not necessarily, buyers and sellers, but roofers and HVAC people, tilers, and I believe we even found someone that you were kind of connected with, Jeremy and Mike from Spartan and LMR. So, what we did was we put together like a vendor list and even kind of a client services, and then also kind of like the dog groomers. So we have like the dog groomers and like the not pizza, but, services, but that are maybe not home related, but people might move to the community. And then we also have, a tab on this spreadsheet that has the roofers, the architects, everyone down the line. But that way we're consistent in who we're referring. And one thing I was going to say was that, this year I have my go-to lender, but I found another lender from a client who he was working, and that lender wound up referring me 2 or 3 clients. And we've been talking a lot and we've connected, and, he's a really good lender. He's good at what he does. And he likes how I respond to his needs. I answer the phone, I take his leads, and I service his leads. So I found an attorney similar who, there's attorneys who kind of a dime a dozen. I have my go-to attorney, Adam Rosenberg. I'll give him a shout out. He's great in New Brunswick. But I found another attorney who was just excellent at their responses. So I kept them nearby, gave them a call, introduced myself. I have some clients who are more Ocean County based. Maybe they don't want an attorney up in New Brunswick, so I have this person down there. But I developed these relationships based on excellent performance I've seen. And I would hope the same would be done for me. When I provide excellent service, that people would refer me to someone else because I provided that excellent service. So it's just a way that, and then we can tag those people consistently and post, hey, I need a roofer. I can make sure I'm tagging the same people consistently, and then they'll return the favor, you would think. So it's just another thing we're doing, some networking, professional networking.
Yep, that is networking right there. Tagging others when they are, in need. You're a resource. Here's Cynthia. It's important to provide that resource to others because, yes, we all do real estate, insurance. There's mortgage people. There's financial advisors, accountants. If we could all keep, and you can have a couple different people, like you said, a North Jersey, a South Jersey. It could be if you're working in different states. I tell agents, work with agents in other states as well, because you're networking. You can have someone from New York coming to New Jersey. Who are they going to call? You, if you have that relationship. So this kind of leads into our lead generation kind of segment.
I don't want to interject right now. I got to interrupt, but I want to say, you mentioned Brandon and Cynthia who jumped on the chat. I don't know if they're still on, but so they are agents that I met about 1.5 years ago. We were doing some phone prospecting, which leads into your lead generation. We were doing a lot of circle prospecting, things like that, following a specific coach out there. And, someone started a Zoom group, and we were just basically, these were agents from around the country. None were in my market. And, we were just kind of cold calling and learning the nuances from each other. And it's easy, because you can get torn apart on a phone call and be discouraged. But when the person in the Zoom room is continuing to go, it encourages you to continue to go. And Brandon and Cynthia, we really hit it off. They're a bit younger than me. I'm like the old guy, but they, we've been networking, and Brandon and, Cynthia, all the different groups, lab code agents, real estate mastermind, people are always looking for referrals. So we tag each other. Mm-hmm. I have a house under contract right now that I think Brandon put me in touch with the person, so Brandon saw a post, tagged me. I went up reaching out to the person who was in Florida. She put me in touch with her nephew in Brooklyn, and he's under contract in Brick, New Jersey right now, so just a way that we're able to network with each other. And I've referred business to Cynthia. She's referred business to me and vice versa. I don't know if we've really closed deals yet, but it's an ongoing process, and it's something that's pretty awesome.
There's proof right there. Networking works.
And Cynthia's up in Manchester, New Hampshire, and Brandon's out in Chicago. He just relocated from Pasadena, California. So if you need self-service, they're excellent, can help you out.
Definitely connect with those guys for sure. And let's talk about our lead generation. How are you getting your leads? Are you in real estate? In school, they just teach you how to pass the test, and they forget to teach you about the business. And lead generation is a key part to having a survival rate in real estate. If you don't have the leads, you don't have the business, and you're in trouble. And then when you start having the leads coming in, and you still start closing business, you still have to still cultivate as you're still working. You can't say, "Oh, I'm busy doing deals." You got to be continuously marketing as well. So how are you lead generation? What is happening with your lead generation right now?
I hadn't really done a lot of paid leads, but recently I did buy into some lead sources. So I have some paid leads coming in, but I did step up and do some every door direct mail. We should be getting one out in the next week or two. Another one. We're trying to do that monthly. Making phone calls, calling my database. At this point, I have a pretty large database, and there's many leads in there I have never even spoken to, basically. So I need to spend the time and call through the database. That's going to take some time. But I do some expired prospecting, some circle prospecting, and then a lot of referrals and sign calls. Actually, my number one source for leads would be referrals and then sign calls. And when I say sign calls, it might be someone who called me directly from the sign, but it might also be someone who kind of found my listing online. So I still call that a sign call because they're finding my listing online. It's coming to me through online, but it's because I had the listing. So I consider that to be a sign call.
Yep.
Sign calls and referrals. And when I say referrals, it's Sphere. My mother-in-law has referred me 2 or 3 deals a year, which is, I'm very grateful for. My family. I lived in this whole community. I've lived in this community for 35 years, where I work. So that's something that helps me. The schools I worked in were nearby. Union Beach, where I was principal, is only 2 miles from my house. And Matawan, where I was a director of HR, is only about 6 miles from my house. So that provides me another resource, another area to tap into a sphere. So that's the basics. And then, just, again, being visible. Being online, following up is key. There's leads I've been following up with for 3 years and are close. I have one lead, every time I talk to him, he tells me in 2 weeks he's going to sell his house, but it's been 2 years. So I'm going to call him this week, see where we're at, see if he's ready to list. And if he's not, I'll call him in 2 weeks.
It's all about that follow-up for sure. There is people, I quoted like 8-9 months ago, and they called me 2 days ago, and they're like, "I'm ready to close the deal." I'm like, okay, whenever you're ready, but you have to continuously be following up, being in front of them and reminding them, "Hey, I'm here. I'm still here to help you." I always tell people we're all about, it's not just real estate, it's not insurance. We're all about providing solutions to problems that people have. So after every call that you have maybe a cold call, take it as a connection call. You're going to go deep with somebody. You're going to learn. You're not going to sell them on that phone call. You're going to find out what's bothering them. And if you can fix it, if it's an attorney they need, an accountant, another agent for another state, that's where, if you have it right off the top of your head, that's a great way to provide a resource to whoever you're speaking to instead of just selling all the time. Once you have a hot prospect, yes, you should be able to close them. That's what's funny. They talk about leads. I can give you 10 leads today. If you don't know what you're saying, you don't have your scripting, you're not confident on what you're going to say, you're not going to close all 10. You're not going to close 8. You might close 2. And that's how you can improve yourself, is up your game, get involved with Toastmasters, learn how to present better. And that too will go to 6 to 8. And then you'll start, no one gets 10 out of 10, but that's your goal, right?
Yeah. And I found that, I found that, just, sorry, I have a technical problem here.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, just, following up. Lead conversion is what it comes down to. Like you said, you could have all the leads, but if you don't know how to address them, how to approach them, how to nurture them and follow up with them, what's your system to follow up, you're going to lose a lot of business, because the fortune is in the follow up, as we know, or as we're told.
Oh yeah, definitely. Is there any final thoughts you can share with us, Brian, today? I let everyone know where you can find him, but what are some final thoughts for Brian, for you today?
Yeah, you can check me out at brianwalshrealestate.com. You can find me on any of the social media platforms, Walsh Real Estate. I would just say I'm really looking forward to 2021. I'm really grateful to have found the success that I found by working hard and diligently. And if anyone else out there needs any help or advice, looking to get started in the business, I'd be happy to jump on the phone for a few minutes or answer some DMs. So feel free to reach out, Brian at brianwalshrealestate.com. And I think that's really it. I wish everyone a great 2021. I thank you for having me on here. And I think that's really it.
Awesome, Brian. Thanks so much for dropping those nuggets of information today. If those are just catching right now, you might want to wait until this uploads and replay it, because there's lots of value here that I hope that you implement and take action. Don't just sit there and listen to us. Actually take some notes, write some stuff down. And if anything that we share with you today works, let us know. We would love to know what we're doing is affecting others as well. So Brian, thanks so much for sharing your information today. And for everyone else, please check out connectionmachine.biz. And we would love for having a conversation with you guys this year in 2021. I hope that you all have an awesome day.
Thank you.